Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's toy battle, which pits 1979 Darth Vader from Kenner Toys against Hasbro's 1983 Cobra Commander. We're going to talk about who's the better figure, and it starts with round one. Okay, so round one, we're going to talk about Sculpt, and we're going to look at each figure here. Let's start off with Darth Vader. Darth Vader had a good sculpt on him. He has his legendary mask. He has gloves with the actual padding sculpted into them. He's got his chest piece here that's actually sculpted with little tiny buttons on it, as well as little tiny buttons around his belt. He's got his boots that are sculpted. And the backside, you can see the belt, as well as the padding all over the uniform. So pretty good sculpt on the figure there. You can also see his chest piece is sculpted out as well. So now let's look at Cobra Commander. He also has pretty good detail in his sculpt. I like his hooded figure here. You can see all the folds in the hood. On his arms, you can see that they put muscle tone in, as well as the folds of his shirt. They sculpted on buttons. You can see them down here lightly in the lapel. On his side, he has a dagger that has been sculpted on, right there. And then his boots with the stirrups on. Okay, so there is the sculpts. So who's the best? This is a close one, guys. It really is. But I'm giving the slight edge to Darth Vader. And the reason why is because Kenner took the time to put the detail in all of his padding. All of the lines on his padding. It's all over. You can see him on his arms, his legs, his torso, his back. All of that had to be sculpted on in the original mold. So very cool. I also like his boots a little bit better on there. So I'm going to give a very slight edge in the first round to the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader. Alright guys, round two is paint job. So let's take a look at Darth Vader's paint job. He's got his lightsaber here, which is painted red. He's got his chest piece, which has the silver and red paint on it, as well as paint on his buckle around his belt. And that is it for Darth Vader's paint. Whereas Cobra Commander has the eyes painted. He's got a Cobra symbol painted on, as well as a little red turtleneck painted on. There's paint on his belt, on his side piece, down the side of his leg. Lots of paint. So this one actually is pretty easy. The paint job goes to Cobra Commander. Alright, round three is articulation. So let's look at the articulation. Let's start off here with Cobra Commander this time. He has got articulation in his elbows, in his shoulder, his swivel motion, up and down, his head, his torso can twist, and his knees, and they were also on a ball joint, so not only do they go up and down, but they can be moved out to the side and positioned in many different places. So there is Cobra Commander. Now let's take a look at Darth Vader. Darth Vader's articulation, his arms, his head, and his legs. So this is actually a pretty easy one, guys. For articulation, I have to give this round to Cobra Commander. Alright, round four is accessories. So we're going to look at the accessories of each figure and see who has the better ones. And both of them don't have a ton of accessories, but let's start off with Cobra Commander and his pistol here. He does have a removable pistol that has a little peg on the side of it here. You can see that. And that actually would clip inside of his back here. So it could be carried on his back, which was kind of cool. Nice little feature. Now let's look at Darth Vader and his accessories. Of course, he has his vinyl cape. which was kind of a cool cape because it was a material that was easy to move around, but it also ripped very easy. And unfortunately, on a lot of these old figures now, they have reproduction capes on them just because they ripped so very easily. But he had his cape, and then he also, of course, had his movable lightsaber. And of course, we know that the telescopic lightsabers, which are among the rarest, were the originals, and they actually went out another little section, but they would break off, and there was no need to manufacture a toy that was breaking all the time, so they went with these smaller ones here. But still very cool. And because the fact that you could move it in and out, and the fact that he came with a cape, I'm going to give the accessory nod in this round to Darth Vader. Alright everybody, this is the last round, which is the X Factor, and we are looking at our two figures here for the last round of who is better. And this is a hard one because they are very close. They're close on accessories, they're close on sculpt, they're close on paint job. It's very, very close matchup. But I'm giving the slight edge in X Factor to Cobra Commander. So why would I give him the edge? Because he had Kung Fu grip. That's right, you could put other things in his hands. You could put guns, you could put accessories, you could put a rope, you could put a chain, you could put anything in there. Put him in a vehicle and set his hands on the steering wheel like he was driving. Kung Fu grip was a big selling point for G.I. Joe when it first had come out, as well as the swivel arms. Those were kind of innovative. So the Kung Fu grip feature was something that Cobra Commander had, whereas on Darth Vader, he had one hand stationed on the lightsaber, and the other hand was completely flat. As you can see, there's no way he could hold anything else. But you would say Darth Vader doesn't use anything else. He only uses a lightsaber, which is true. Again, I'm not saying that he's a better character than Cobra Commander. Of course, the Dark Lord of the Sith could probably beat the Commander in blue. But, as far as the toy goes, the nod for the Kung Fu grip has to go to Cobra Commander, which means your winner for best figure in this toy versus toy battle is Cobra Commander. Cobra la 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 la. I just wanted to do that. Alright, so there's your winner of the toy versus toy battle for this week. You can go on to myafterschooltoys.com to see more toy battles, to see more 80s toys, and check out a lot of the features of some of the cooler 80s toys that we're going to be featuring upcoming weeks here on this YouTube channel. So check us out there at myafterschooltoys.com. And until the next 80s battle of toy versus toy, long live the 80s.